pulled a reading for myself today and I want to share what came up. So recently in my life, I've been making a lot of really big changes. I've been faced with a lot of the same situations, and I am feeling like a tension in that moment where I can feel the old version of me and the new version of me experiencing like some form of tension, and me being provided the opportunity to make a choice to either like take an action that aligns with the old me or the new me, or like think in a new way that aligns with like the old me or the new me. And I think a big reason why this journey even kickstarted, and why like I was called to even start thinking this way and like make different choices, is because of like what I was saying a few videos ago about being in this position in my life where I had like a traditional version of success, but like I wasn't satisfied with it. And I know that like for a lot of people that seems like really ridiculous. Like I can't stress enough like how perfect my life was, quote unquote, on paper, but I was just so miserable. And it made me realize that like rather than seeing that as something that was like a punishment, or like why am I ungrateful or like not satisfied with like these blessings and stuff in my life, because that wasn't even true. Like at the end of the day, like I was grateful, I was praying every day, I was doing my gratitude list every day, I felt really good about the life that I had. And this is why it was so confusing to me that I still felt so unsatisfied and like there was like something missing. But what I think was actually at the root of that was I was living in this way of just like dissociating from like my true self, like my authentic desires, my emotions, like feeling like the more transient or intangible like parts of me, things that I couldn't really like rationalize or like prove with like facts and calculations, and things that I could hold physically, like kind of dismissing those things as trivial in the process of deciding like how I want to show up for my life and what I want my life to look like. And I feel like what's been happening in the present has been me taking the time to really investigate like what it looks like to actually feel into a situation and allow the ways that I feel to determine how I choose to show up in that situation. And I think a lot of us kind of do this thing where we see, and this is, you know, not just us being stupid or anything, but like, you know, it's capitalism, white supremacy, all this stuff, but we do this thing where we basically say like, you know, the way to make the right decision or the smart decision is to ignore all of that, think about things logically, and then make a choice from that place. But that's exactly what I have been doing like my whole life. Like no lie, my entire life I've been moving that way. And that's why I've been able to be so successful despite having all of the like adversity and lack of resources and support and you know, abuse, all the things that you could think of I've had in my life, and like I've still managed to like create something really beautiful for myself. So I understand why people feel like it's the right thing to do to like move like that. But as someone who's like done the whole song and dance and like got to a place again where I was like, hey, I'm here and I'm not really feeling this shit for real, it made me realize that like tossing all of the shit out the window as it relates to like my emotions, my intuition, like what felt right to me, what just felt good, wasn't serving me. And I think what God has been showing me recently is like when I actually take the time to like sit with how I feel about things and be like, does this feel right? Does this feel like me? Does this feel like something that I want to like reinforce? It unlocks a whole new paradigm shift where I can hold the weight of my decision making and make decisions from a place of like, okay, there's a reason why I'm feeling this way, and like that can motivate my behavior instead of me feeling like, okay, I feel really badly, I need to suppress those feelings and only think logically and then make the decision from that place and then hopefully go back to these things that I was feeling before. And it brings me back to this concept of like passion and like energy and this like urge that a lot of us feel and don't know what to do with because it's so crowded by like the weight of societal expectations, the projections of other people. Like I'm someone who like is very sensitive to people's energy, and I can feel intuitively like when people want something from me, probably what they want from me. I can feel the weight and intensity of that desire as well. And so typically what I end up doing is like forcing myself to succumb to whatever the thing is that they're trying to get me to do, because I'm like, all right, I would much rather just like do that than feel the intensity that comes from the weight of their expectation. And it's a similar thing with like this creative, passionate energy within us, right? Like there are so many days where I feel this desire to do or create or whatever, but because it's so crowded and clouded by the weight of other people's expectations, the weight of this capitalistic machine that I'm a part of that tells me that I have to produce and I have to do things to earn my success and earn the life that I want to live. That's how I end up in situations like what I described before, where like everything that I have around me is like, yeah, technically I was successful at getting what capitalism said I was supposed to get, but I don't feel good. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel content. Like I'm not happy. And so this manifests for me as like this tension of being stuck, where it's like the old version of me that's still in that capitalistic mindset of like needing to do to prove, needing to do to like be accepted, needing to perform to make sure that I'm loved, needing to perform to be safe, needing to perform to be stable, is coming up against this like whisper inside of me that's like, I don't really want to do that though. I don't feel good about that narrative. I don't feel good about that story. I don't want to do it. And so you're sitting in this tension and you're perceiving that tension as guilt, when really it's just conflict between these two versions of you. And sometimes that guilt is actually just like, one, fear of people seeing you as like selfish and, you know, rejecting you because you're putting yourself first in a way that like they see as coming at their expense. And two, sadness that the people that you love and care about can't be supportive or happy for you, like prioritizing yourself, putting yourself first, nourishing yourself, really standing on what makes you feel good. And so if you're not careful, you won't see that guilt for what it is, and instead you will see it as confirmation that you are supposed to be productive, that you are supposed to people please, that you are supposed to fulfill these projections that and expectations that people put on you that you never had the chance to agree to, probably didn't even have full knowledge of until they brought it to your attention that they're mad that you didn't do a certain thing. And so this beautiful, rich, weighted, just like bursting with potential energy of passion that you have within you, which is really what is at the root of this desire to do something, gets bastardized. And because you don't feel good about honoring it, because it has all this like icky stuff on top of it, what you end up feeling in addition to the guilt is laziness. When you're not actually lazy, you just don't want to keep doing shit you don't want to do, and that doesn't actually honor your authentic process and authentic feeling. And so when we can step back for a second and remove all of that capitalistic codependent bullshit and really just look at the energy of the desire to create and to do as something neutral, we can then leverage that to create experiences that we actually want to create, right? Because it's a good thing that we feel this push to take action. It's a good thing that we feel this passion. It's a good thing that we feel, you know, this bursting desire to like channel these things that we're feeling into action, into things that we can tangibly see and hold and you know, create space for and around. And that's why it's so important to just get very clear on like, one, who you are. What is it that you value? How do you resonate with certain experiences versus others? What is the type of experience you want to have in this life? And the way to do that, the key to do that, is to listen to and honor your emotion. And I think that there's been so many times in my life where I felt really like sad about that, and sad about the fact that that has to be my life. Like, why can't it just be simple? Why can't I just like follow all the rules and play the game and just like phone it in and not really give a fuck? But that's just not what my soul was called to do. Like, I'm not put on this planet to have empty experiences. Like, it's, for better or worse, my soul insists on living life to the fullest and experiencing this shit to the hilt. And that means that I have to have an active relationship with my emotions to make sure that I'm channeling the parts of me that can truly feel into this experience and create things that I actually want to experience in this reality.